Hello everyone and welcome to a webinar about the light-gauge steel framing in Revit. Today we will explore how aga-cad's metal framing solution can help you save time and minimize human error when updating frame models and documentation in Revit. So we'll start with a short introduction and then proceed with the live demo in Revit. And after that, we'll draw some conclusions, and at the end, there will be a Q&A session. So I'm your host, Andrus. You can also call me Andrew. I'm a BIM application engineer at aga-cad. I'm also a certified Autodesk Revit professional and a qualified architect. aga-cad is an authorized Autodesk developer and a member of the group Archons. Our goal is to ensure that Revit users complete their projects on time, on budget, at the highest quality standards, and with minimal waste. aga-cad solutions automate the 3D modeling, BIM data management, and 2D drafting in Revit. Over many years, we have developed the widest range of BIM solutions for Revit users, including precast concrete design, MEP system design, wood framing, and metal framing solutions. And today we're going to look at metal framing. Our main focus will be on metal framing wall solution, but the workflow and the principles apply also to roof and floor solutions. And to be more precise, we'll be covering subjects like how our framing solutions can help you save time and minimize human error when framing individual or multiple walls, and how it can help you when you need to modify those frames or create and update drywall layouts. Then we're going to look at BIM data management and the numbering of elements in particular. And finally, we're going to create some shop drawings and we're going to make some changes to them. So let's proceed with the live demonstration in Revit. So as you can see, I have my Revit project open. And firstly, I would like to briefly introduce you to our Tools for BIM doc, which is an interactive window in Revit. Here, if you're trying out our solutions, you can access all of our tools, including metal framing, in this doc. And also, after you purchase our solutions, you will also find them here. And if you're new to aga-cad, you can find more information in our website. So let's proceed with the metal framing solution. And actually, let's start with a problem. Many Revit users, and specifically those who work in the light-gauge steel framing industry, they share a common problem, which is manual and repetitive tasks in when they need to create framing models in Revit. And this can lead to a lot of mistakes, and it's also not very good in terms of timing, and especially when you have so many deadlines, you just really cannot afford to make any mistakes. So we have the solution for these challenges. By just clicking this button here, we can automate the entire framing process for this wall, and you will see that how much time we can save with automation. And within just a few seconds, we got our complete frame. Brilliant. But then when it comes to changes, well, how do we deal with them? Well, obviously, we really want to avoid any manual work. I mean, we could open up an elevation view and to find a more convenient, way to manage these elements. But let's say I want to have diagonal cripples above this door, and as you can see already, I'm struggling here, making all those changes manually. Plus, I need to have chamfered edges for these diagonal elements, and it's just waste of time, and also I'm not guaranteed about the precision. So all I need to do to solve this problem is just click this button and make a few changes to the configurations. We just tick one box, enter some parameters. By the way, our solution is also available in the Imperial version. And then I hit OK. And as you can see, we have instantly created diagonal elements above our doors, and we even got these chamfered elements. Now it's all perfect when we are looking at one wall. But what happens when we have, a big project? Let's say we have a 5-story or 10 or even 50-story buildings. How do we go about, framing all those walls? And for example, what if clients make some final changes before a deadline, and you need to somehow manage those? So I'm going to show you how we deal with these kind of problems. So we're going to frame these walls, but first, actually, let's make them a bit smaller. Let's divide these walls into smaller panels. Again, I could try and use, this split element tool manually, but this is going to take me forever, and especially if I have like hundreds of walls in my project, this is really going to be a big headache. So again, we can automate this process by using our Smart Tool solution. So if we go to our split wall menu, we can see that we have loads of different options of how you can split your walls. And today, actually, I would like to split all these walls in half. And I will do it quickly with just one button, split selected in half. You can see within just a blink of an eye, I have split my walls, and I even got these tiny gaps here. And again, you can set your own rules of whether you want to have a gap or whether you want to have a bigger gap. It's all possible to do this in Smart Walls. So now that my walls are ready, I can go ahead and frame them. So again, I'm picking my wall instances, and I just click on this wall button. And once again, the process is being automated. Within just a few seconds, I will get my framing done. And it's good because it saves me a lot of time, and also precision is guaranteed, which means that I don't need to worry about human error. And see, everything is nice and precise. So, but what happens when we need to make some sudden changes? So let's say we want to make these cripple studs. Actually, we want to make them diagonal. So, and what if we also need to have a additional horizontal element below the window? So what we can do is we can quickly go to our framing configurations dialog and make some quick adjustments to our windows. So I just need to tick this box here. As you can see, I'm just making a couple of changes in my configuration. Then I hit save. And I can reframe these walls by picking them one by one, but I can also choose a simpler solution. So we have a multi-framing feature, which is actually created for big projects. So where we have loads of identical walls, we can quickly, frame these walls or update these walls. Let me show you an example. So if I pick any element from any wall and click on this button here, you will see that the changes will appear in just a few seconds. And I'm saving a lot of time. And once again, precision is the key. We are avoiding errors, and that's great for my workflow. That's great for my clients. So now that we're done with the framing bit, let's move on to drywall layers. So in Revit, if I turn on parts, we can actually turn these parts into drywall layers for your gypsum boards or OSB boards and so on. And again, I can try and do this manually. I can open up maybe an elevation view where it's a bit more convenient, and I can use some intersecting elements like grids and reference planes. But the process is not that straightforward as it seems, and let's say that I'm just drawing this line like that, and we have a couple of elements. But imagine if I have to do this for an entire building. It's going to take me forever. So I don't want to have this headache. I want to solve these problems quickly. And we have a solution for this. It's called split parts. So if I select just any parts in my project and click on this function, and as you can see, within just a few moments, we have created layouts for all of these walls. That's perfect. That's exactly what I want if I need to meet deadline soon. But then actually we need to make some changes. Well, how do we deal with those? So let's say that we don't want to have this split line along this window jamb. So what we can do is, again, we can just make a couple of quick tweaks in our configuration. So let's just click on, save our configuration. And once again, I'm going to I can pick any element. I can pick framing elements from those walls. And once again, if I click split parts, you will see within just a few moments, we sorted our problem quickly and accurately. So now we have finished with the model bit. How about BIM data management? Let's say that I would like to number all my walls in the project. So, I can go and type in those numbers manually. But then what happens when I need to add a new wall or some walls get removed? Once again, it's going to be a painful and long process dealing with it. So again, we have a solution. If we click on number walls, you will see that the same mark parameter will be filled within just a blink of an eye. And you can also see that these mark values are grouped according to a level. So let's say level 1, level 4, and so on. And the same applies to structural framing elements. So, as you can see, there are already some, text parameter values filled in for each instance. So, for example, this is a top cripple, and this is a blocking, and so on. But then how do we deal with sorting those elements? Well, there is a specific parameter called FM sort mark. But then again, I want to avoid any manual work here. I need to save myself some time and be accurate in my task. So all I can do is I can simply, let's say, if I just once again show you this parameter, click on number elements, and within just, again, within a second, I got these values for all framing elements within the entire project. So I've sorted my data and my schedules will be ready. We can move on and create our assemblies. Now, Revit has a really cool feature. Some of you might not know. Let's say if I filter all these elements, I can actually create an assembly manually. And I can also create views if I apply a specific view template. This is going to be awesome. If I click OK, so for instance, you can see we have this view. And if I had proper view templates, everything would be, well, almost everything would be brilliant. I would still need to put dimensions, tags, and there would still be a lot of manual and repetitive work. Well, what if, for example, there was another framing right next to this wall? I would have to be very careful with what I'm filtering. So let's go back a couple of steps. And let's automate the entire process. So if I just click on this framing element and click Create Assembly, within a few seconds, we will have not only an entire assembly, but also our views and schedules. If I open up my sheet, by the way, you can use your own company title blocks, and then just start dragging and dropping these views onto my sheet. Here I create our first layout, and you only need to do this once for the first sheet, and now this layout will be used as a template. I will show you later what I actually mean. But the best part about this automated assembly is that we have automated our dimensions and our tags, and you can see these are in millimeters, but again, you can use imperial system if you need to. And you can also, for example, if we want to make some changes to our dimensions, you can see right now it's picking the left side of framing elements. If I had to do this manually, it would take me a lot of time, and it's just, I might also make some mistakes, and this is something that I really don't want to do, especially if I have dozens, if not hundreds of wall assemblies in my entire project. So how I can deal with this? Well, I can quickly make a few adjustments. So if I click on Modify Dimensions, and again, I have my configurations. I can just quickly adjust my settings, click OK, and as you can see, dimension references is moved to the right of those framing elements. So I just saved tons of hours if I had to make these dimensions for an entire project. Now, so we created our first assembly. Let's turn this sheet layout into our template. So now, when I go, let's say, to the top and I pick this wall, and when I create an assembly for this wall, you will see that all views and schedules will be placed exactly in the exact same way. And again, it's a new assembly, and the layout is the same, and we also got dimensions and tags and schedules and so on. But then what happens when we need to make some urgent changes in this wall where we already have an assembly, and I definitely don't want to spend hours on manual work. So for example, we need to change this window size. Right, you can see there are some elements in the way, and I would also need to cut this plate at the bottom. It's going to take me forever. So I can just simply use update frame command, and within just a few seconds, our frame will be updated. Now, if I let's say hide this element, you'll see that even the bottom plate got cut. But if I go to my assembly, I can see that frame was roughly updated, but there are some missing elements because new elements are still not included into the assembly. So there's no problem at all. We can simply click this button, Update Frame Assembly, and within just a few moments, once again, we've automated the process. We've saved tons of time, and the precision is guaranteed. Now, there are a few question marks here. These are new elements. They haven't been numbered before. We're going to solve this problem within just a blink of an eye, and we are ready. And now there's one more remaining problem, and actually we get this question quite a lot. So how do we manage the rules of numbering and sorting our framing elements? For example, what if I want to use a different rule right now? As you can see, each and every framing element gets a unique number at the end. But let's say we want to make sure that elements that have the same cut length, let's say if these are common studs, they get their the same mark, and the same with king studs, and so on. So what we can simply do is we actually have an amazing tool called SortMark. That's where you can create your numbering rules. And once I've created those rules, I can go ahead into this dialog, and I can pick any rule that I want, any rule that I have created. And again, you can standardize these rules by your company standards. You have all freedom and flexibility. So, and right now I just need to click one button, number elements. And as you can see, everything has been updated, and just like I wanted, I get these values. And we also see that the schedule has been updated. And by the way, these are Revit schedules, and our software comes with not only with these framing families, which you can modify to meet your company standards and sizes and so on, but you also can modify schedule fields, and you can take quantity material takeoffs and add more schedules if you want to. So everything can be automated. And as you can see, with our solution, you can save tons of time, and you can avoid mistakes. And this is great because it gives you peace of mind, and also I can save a lot of money, and I can focus on tasks that are valuable. So let's finish with the presentation, and this is what we learned today. So with our method framing solution, you can automate manual tasks related to framing in Revit, and our solution applies automation to 3D modeling, BIM data management, and 2D drafting, which means that you can save tons of hours and you can minimize human error when creating, or let's say modifying, framing. And this can help you save money. It can also help you focus on more valuable tasks. And of course, sustainability is the key. By minimizing human error, you also reduce chances that we'll have some materials wasted in the factories. So automate your workflows now and book a 15-minute personal meeting and contact us at info@aga-cad.com. And don't forget to download our Tools for BIM doc from our website, aga-cad.com. So thank you very much for your attention.
aga-cad, building BIM together.